In this special occasion, I would like to tell you one story using theme, the sea word, and the title is The Little Mermaid. Have you ever heard this story before? No? Okay, I would like to tell the whole story for you. Once upon a time, in the deep down under the sea, lived a little mermaid. She lived with her father, the sea king, in the palace made of blue coral. Her favorite food was sea biscuits. The sea king told all the merfolk that they must never go up to the surface. He thought humans were just too dangerous. But the little mermaid thought that humans were very interesting. She loved checking out the old shipwrecks on the seafloor and collecting all the old human things. Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? What do you think my collection complete? What do you think I'm the girl who has everything? One day, she was out swimming with her best friend, the crab. They were quite near to the surface. The crab kept telling her to keep her head in the water where it belonged. Then she saw a boat pass overhead. She went right up to the surface to get a closer look. She could see a handsome young man playing with his dog. Wow, what a handsome young man! She didn't know that the handsome young man was a prince. As the little mermaid watched, a big storm blew in, and the dog's leg fell out of the prince's hand. He stretched out to grab it, but fell overboard with a great splash. The dog was breaking his head off. The prince started sinking deeper and deeper. The trouble was, the prince was a terrible swimmer. In fact, he could swim about as well as a stone. Then the little mermaid sang down and scooped him up. She brought him back to the beach and sang softly to make him feel better. Once he opened his eyes a little bit and saw her kind face looking down at him. Then he fell fast asleep. When he woke up, he promised himself that he would find the girl who rescued him. He wanted to thank her. He looked and looked but couldn't find her. He didn't know that the girl who rescued him wasn't in the kingdom, but under it, in the sea. When the sea king found out that the little mermaid had been visited to the surface, he was furious. How could she disobey my orders? I must protect her from the dangers above. After that, he decided he would stop her interest in humans once and for all. Then he used his magic trident and smashed all their human treasures to pieces. Why did you do that, Dad? Those were my treasures from the surface, said the little mermaid sadly. I did it to keep you safer. Humans can be dangerous, said her father. Then she thought how fantastic it would be if she could just go back to the surface one more time to look for more. One day, she was out swimming on her own way when she met the sea witch who said she could turn the little mermaid into a human for 3 days. Now, there's an interesting idea, she thought. The sea witch worked her magic and turned her mermaid tail into legs. She swam to the shore, and as you can imagine, it wasn't easy without her mermaid tail. When she got to the beach, she had to learn how to use her new legs. The prince was walking with his dog along the beach. Suddenly, he saw the little mermaid. He realized that she was the one who saved him. "Please come to my castle so I can thank you properly," said the prince. "Oh, yes, please," she answered. "I've never been to a human castle." At the castle, she was given a beautiful new dress and some jewels. At the grand dinner table, she was served lots of different foods, but she didn't like the look of them very much. "Are you not hungry?" asked the prince. "No, not really. By the way, what's this?" she asked. "It's a burger, of course." He was a bit surprised at this. The next day, the prince took her out on a carpet ride. She was fascinated by everything she saw and wondered how everything worked. Then, the next day, the prince took her out on a rowing boat. She took one look at the deep blue water and realized that she really wanted to go back home. The sea witch had been watching all this on her crystal ball. "That girl has got a choice. She either lives as humans or a mermaid," she thought. The trouble was, the little mermaid really fell in love with the prince. The prince also really loved her. So did his dog. During the trek, the little mermaid saw her best friend the crab swim up to the side of the boat. He looked sad. Then she knew what she must do. She knew she would miss her families and friends far too much. So she thanked the prince and told him that she had to go back home. Just as the sun went below the horizon, her legs turned back into a tail, and she was back to being a mermaid. She felt really hungry and couldn't wait to eat some yummy soup biscuits. She swam happily back to her families and friends in the deeper palace in the water. After all, that's where she really belonged. Well, my dear friends, this story teaches us to be happy and grateful with who we are and where we come from. The little mermaid wanted to be human, but she realized that her true home and happiness were with her underwater families and friends. So she chose to be herself and go back to her home. It's very essential to appreciate and love who we are and what we belong to. Well, my dear friends, that's all from me. Thank you for listening and goodbye!